And we're back. As we know, this election was not fought on policy, it was fought on perception. And anything that challenged the official narrative, from Trump comparisons to digital censorship, was treated like a threat to democracy itself. So, Michelle, why do you think the liberal fear campaign, Polyev equals Trump, resonated with enough voters to swing this election?
So I think a lot of it is a numbers game, and so I knew halfway through the campaign we were in a battle of young versus old,
Right.
and there was a line in the sand, right? So anybody, and I think I saw these stats shared today, but like up to 45 who were consuming primarily social media, watching your show, Jonathan, this kind of stuff, they were open. They were leaning conservative, right? They just were like, why can you keep doing the same thing and expect different results?
Right.
But, clearly, 30% of the voters still didn't turn out to vote. There's still a ton of voter apathy in this country. A lot of people say, what's the point? Why do I even vote? I don't have any trust in politicians. I don't have any trust in the system. I don't believe in it. I don't show up to vote, or they don't care, or they don't even know. And so I think that's the thing. But I think the happy ending to this, the long term or the long game, is the amount of young people who voted conservative, the amount of union trade workers who voted conservative, the amount of people who I voted visited in social housing voting conservative. That's a huge, huge flip from where we've seen this in the past. Like high schools have local student votes,
Yeah.
and I got the results. We won.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
So
that.
it's probably going to take another cycle for all of those people, because they're going to raise their children, hopefully, if they have children, and we're able to hold the line here in Canada for the next,
Hmm.
hopefully, less than 4 years. And I think that's where the numbers game comes. But I think the older people showed up, and we saw that in the advanced poll numbers. And so now we have to ensure that moving forward, we grow that amazing following that we have created in this movement. Quite frankly, it's a movement. These guys on the subway after a Leafs game, we want Polyev.
Yeah.
That's incredible stuff, where he connected to those folks. So it's building on that and then tailoring it a bit to reach these. I don't know if I don't think you'll ever reach the old people.
Well, I think the
I
thing
think their
is,
mind was made up.
yeah, I agree with you. I think the stuff with the Trump rhetoric was it that was their biggest issue. And I go, how can this be your
Hmm.
biggest problem? The guy's not even on the ballot. How can this be your biggest problem? But
Hmm.
regardless of how things turn out and how quickly the election happens, I don't think Trump won't be the conversation next time. So hopefully we can leapfrog that and then
Right.
move on to things that actually matter. Okay, so with
Right.
censorship bills like Bill C11 and C18,
Mhm.
sorry, pardon me, with censorship bills like C11 and C18 and social media platforms limiting reach, do you think we're seeing any new kind of sort of strategy or different campaigns to what the future looks like in this game? And how do you think this is going to change the messaging for the next election?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I'm one of these extremely vocal people. When I was in the House of Commons speaking out against these bills, and I projected and told everybody, I said, this is actually destroying your local media. Like the local media that, the little guy that's trying to still put out the stuff, they got eaten alive, they
Right.
got consumed. So you have to pivot. The big question is now, Jonathan, are they going to come after you? Are they gonna come after these independent YouTubers, independent, voices? Because that is the new news, right? You
Yeah.
are the new news, and I think everybody who's young and picking up on that, like, how many viewers do you have a month? Like, how many people are you
Uh,
reaching a month,
we tracked 24 million last month.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You're
pretty wild.
significantly bigger. You're significantly bigger than the MSM, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is it, and I think, to Pierre's credit, he's always been a huge that's how he built a lot of his name, was
Yeah.
he went on YouTube before anybody else was on YouTube. He was doing all of that, and I think, he will be everywhere and anywhere, and I think that will be an interesting voice for him to use, when he's not in the House of Commons as well, right? Because he's
Yeah.
gotta wait to get another seat, so I think that's gonna
Right.
be very interesting.
What are your thoughts then on, say something like Bill C63 rehashing this Online Harms Act? Because
Mm,
from my perspective, all that says is I don't have a voice anymore.
mhm, mhm. It's a terrible, terrible bill. And they bury so much in it that they confuse the person. I always say, if you are on the other end and you don't understand what somebody's explaining to you, that's not a you problem, that's a them problem. They're either
Yeah.
trying to trick you, or there's something in there that's they're not doing their job. And that's what Bill C-63 was. I mean, I sat on the Justice Committee with this bill, and it's horrendous. It's actually
Yeah.
horrendous,
Yeah, I unpacked it a
but they
few
lumped
times.
it. Yeah, but they lumped it in with something that is good, like this little tiny piece of it, because there's online bullying and there is a major, major problem with our youth, a
Yeah,
major problem.
I agree, but I
But
basically
they
to me it looks like good branding, but it's wrapped up in a huge
totally.
problem. So, okay, we'll be right
Oh,
back.
huge.